Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
How about that? In his major league debut, Hunter Renfroe, his first at bat, a sharp single. He added another in his debut here at Petco Park last night. As we welcome you, a happy Friday to you all with Mark Grant, Dick Enberg. Second game of this four-game series. The Padres hosting the San Francisco Giants. And the Padres starting pitching totally reworked from the start of the year. At home, mighty tough.
Home is where the heart is.
Yeah.
Everybody feels at home at Petco Park. The home digs. It all starts with starting pitching as well. And Luis Perdomo, he's only scratched the surface what he can do. But collectively, for the starters, 6 2/3, getting deep into the game. The ERA is just stupendous. Opponents only hitting 174. Why? Making good quality pitches, staying away from the walk. And when you speak of the walk, look at the walks to strikeouts. 3, almost 4 strikeouts to 1 walk. That's pretty darn good. That's going to take you deep into games, and that's going to win you ball games. You hand it over to the bullpen, and then they do their job.
And tonight it'll be the veteran Edwin Jackson. His first start as a Padre, outstanding.
Yeah, he had a no-hitter going into the 7th inning, and it was a 1 pitch that gave up a 3-run shot, but he still has the stuff that plays at the big league level, the fastball to mid-90s. The thing about Edwin Jackson, Dick, is that he can throw any pitch at any time. Darren Balsley says that in order for him to be successful. He's got the breaking ball, 2 types of breaking balls, the changeup and the fastball, so he's going to have to contend about the 3, 4, 5 hitters with the Giants.
Now here's the heart, the meat of the San Francisco Giant order, and look what they've done against Edwin Jackson, collectively 4 for 37.
It just goes to show you the stuff that Edwin Jackson still possesses. The Giants are in a wild card hunt. They got to win some ball games. These guys have come through in the past, so Edwin Jackson, if he's on his game, should see a lot of offers tonight, hopefully.
So the call-ups from the Pacific Coast League champion El Paso Chihuahuas includes Hunter Renfroe, a former #1 pick of the Padres, came up with a couple of hits last night. A teammate of his in El Paso tells us more about this young guy. By Ford of Escondido, you won't believe how low the prices go. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. By Pinnacle on the Park, make your new home here. Visit pinnacleonthepark.com for details. And by Volkswagen Kearney Mesa, awarded best in San Diego County for service and sales. Experience the exceptional at Volkswagen Kearney Mesa.
Well, it was a 2-for-4 night for Hunter Renfroe in his first career start. And one player who is very familiar with Hunter's power is Alex Dickerson. He had a chance to tell me what we can expect from this rookie.
Hunter Renfroe, just an outstanding athlete, good baseball player, kind of a wild horse out there. He's always, he does everything at 110%. Outstanding arm, literally jaw-dropping arm in the outfield, and a lot of power. And expect him to kind of go out there and be him, and once he gets his feet under him, he's going to be a real good baseball player.
And speaking of getting your feet under you, Alex said that the key for these rookies for the next few days here while they're up in the major leagues is just to make this feel normal. He said once you get over that, the rest is cake. Well, coming up, the Padres taking on the Giants for Game 2 of the 4-game set. More firsts in the future. Good to see some young arms and some young bats when we come back.
Some great Padre pitching.
Out of there.
Swing and a miss, and Edwin Jackson with a big strikeout.
And he's back on the mound tonight. Edwin Jackson, 33-year-old, born in Germany, high school in Georgia, pitching for 9 different major league teams as a starter, 11 overall, and he takes on the Giants tonight. And here's a look at their lineup, brought to you by Hyundai, with Denard Span, the veteran center fielder, leading off. Angel Pagan, then Buster Posey. Hunter Pence at 292, the leading hitter. He knocked in the winning run 2-1 last night with a double. Brandon Belt at first base, Eduardo Nunez at third. Then Joe Panik, who broke out of a week-long slump, 0 for 24 until his hit last night. Adrianza at shortstop, and Albert Suarez, the right-handed pitcher.
And the right-hander, Edwin Jackson on the hill, according to his splits, he pitches much better at home in 6 home starts with a 4.3 ERA. Hey, command early is very, very crucial. When he gets ahead, he goes deep in the game, very successful. He's got to keep the ball in the yard, too. No home runs against these Giants.
1-0 against the Giants, but his last outing was his worst of the season, and Colorado gave up 8 runs. Here's the Padres defense, brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Dickerson in left, Jay there in center field with Renfroe, the rookie, in right. On the infield, Schimpf and Sardinhas on the left side. On the right side, Carlos Asuaje and Will Myers there at first base. Austin Hedges behind the plate for the veteran Edwin Jackson. On Friday night, Hispanic Heritage Weekend here at Petco Park. And Denard Span settles in the batter's box. We're about set to go, game 2 of the 4-game series. Giants battling for a wild card spot. The Padres, the role of spoiler, and the first pitch of the game is in there for a strike. Span, career high this year, 10 home runs. 263 overall. He's 32. Hard to strike out. At peekaboo stance. And he lifts one back into the crowd behind home plate.
It's kind of funny. He stays tall and then gets into that crouch in his set position. Trying to spray that ball to any part of the field to get on base for the Giants.
Angel Pecan and Buster Posey to follow here in the top of the first inning. Beautiful night. Just a light, cool breeze. Long stare for the sign from Jackson. Up and in. The Giants are 6 behind the Dodgers in the National League Western race. It looks as if the Dodgers all but have that sewn up, but they can get into the playoffs as a wild card, and they currently, at the start today, tied with the Mets for the top 2 spots, but St. Louis only a half game back. We'll check the scoreboard for you in a moment. And 2-2. The Mets leading Philadelphia 10-5 in the 8th inning.
And the Mets dealing with some issues regarding their pitching. It's going to be interesting what happens with Terry Collins and his Metropolitans.
St. Louis lost to the Cubs 5-0. So they'll remain off the pace for the wild card, the Cardinals. As we mentioned, tough to strike out. Span fouls off a lot of pitches. Looks like Brandon Belt we'll see down in the number 5 spot in the batting order.
Well, remember, he started 0-2 against Denard Span. Should get a weak swing here, get a grounder or a strikeout.
The Friday night brown and gold uniforms. Upstairs, 3-2.
Sign of a good leadoff hitter. You quickly get behind 0-2. If you can work that count 3-2, the workload continues for Edwin Jackson.
Bruce Bochy in his 10th year now with the Giants, after 12 as the skipper of the San Diego Padres. Line drive to the second baseman. Asuaje was ready to go up the ladder to catch it, but it was a sinking liner and one away. Angel Pagan, the left fielder, switch hitter. His hit last night was a killer. I mean, he just drops a parachute bloop into right field, and Renfroe's throw to the plate cut off by Myers, and that made it 1-0 as a run scored from third. And then later, Hunter Pence doubled into the left field corner. Make it 2-0, and Dickerson's home run, 2-1, the final score. You saw the conversation there between Hedges and Myers as to whether or not Hedges thought he had a chance if that throw had come through and Myers hadn't cut it off.
Yep. According to Austin Hedges, it would have been kind of tough because when he was talking with Will Myers in the dugout, he said the only chance were to reach around to his left to try to get that runner.
Swipe
I'll tell you
tag,
what.
huh?
I'll tell you what. How about that throw, though?
Oh, that had plenty of mustard on it. Fly ball to right, tucked away by Renfroe, 2 out. And that'll bring up Buster Posey. Posey just 4 hits away from 1,000 in his bright young career. He's 0 for the last 8, however, and 3 for the last 19. He, like many of the Giants, not hitting well here in September, and that combined with bullpen failure has kept them in second place behind the Dodgers. 9 games to go, fans. Line drive up the middle. Suaje shaded that way. Fires to first for the out. Hit hard. 1, 2, 3. Go the Giants in the first. Leading it off. And here's the Padres lineup brought to you by Toyota. John Jay back in that leadoff spot to start things, followed by the left-handed hitting second baseman Carlos Suaje. Then Will Myers, Ryan Schimpf cleanup. Alex Dickerson in left field bats 5th in front of Hunter Renfroe, 2 for 4 in his major league debut last night. Austin Hedges had a hit last night as he returns to the lineup. Luis Sardinas in the 8th hole, and Edwin Jackson, a good hitting pitcher, against Albert Suarez.
Well, the 26-year-old making his 12th start. He has appeared in 21 games. This is now his 22nd appearance, 12th start. Fastball, curveball, slider change, pretty basic. Sometimes his command can be poor, and pretty much away to lefties and away to righties. See if they take him the opposite way tonight.
And that's exactly what Jay does as he drops one into left field for a base hit. First pitch, soft single to left field, and the Padres get something going early. And a look at the Giants defense, brought to you tonight by Ford of Escondido. Denard Span patrols center with Pagan in left and Pence in right. On the infield, the Giants feature Nunez at third, Adrianza the shortstop, Brandon Crawford with a bad pinky sliding head first, Panic at second, and Belt at first. Posey behind the plate for Suarez. He's 26 years of age, product of Venezuela. Carlos Suaje looking for his first big league hit, 0 for 5 thus far. Hit a ball hard a couple of times last night with no results. Takes a strike.
It was very nice for Carlos to take some time in the pregame show to sit down and have a little chat. Good kid.
Nice personality,
yes.
Huh? Very articulate.
And hail to Nova Southeastern University.
Yeah. Well, that's right there in Davie where the Miami Dolphins train.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, they used to train right at their facility.
Rookie of the year in the PCL for Carlos Suaje.
You know, on top of all of his numbers, Suaje with 172 hits. That was the most in AAA ball.
Yeah.
Entire nation AAA.
International League, Pacific Coast League combined, you bet.
He's a hitting machine. See if it transfers to the big league level. Ball 1. Will Myers to follow. He's got a very quick bat. Line drive hitter. 321 was his average with Chihuahuas. That'll be off to the left.
Well, I already have a nickname for Carlos. Nova Southeastern University, the Sharks. Their mascot is Razor the Shark. IW Razor. Razor Aswahe.
I like it. Yeah. And
That's pretty cool.
He doesn't even have to use one to
Exactly.
earn the tag.
That's a pretty cool mascot.
Will Myers, Charlotte, North Carolina, on deck. Off speed, and it's 2-2. Well, we're going to be chatting during the course of the game, the third inning, with Rod Barajas, who is the manager of that El Paso championship team in the PCL, and he'll give us some more insights on these young guys that have been called up. Suarez not in any hurry to throw the ball. 2-2 goes to first. Jay, a safe lead.
Well, Suarez has not gone past the fifth as a starter this year, so hopefully the Padres can get to the right-hander early.
And he's 1-3 as a starter, an ERA over 4. That ball drilled into the right field corner, but foul. Hooking about 12 feet foul. Robert Pence will serve a souvenir to the crowd down in the corner.
Looks like he was out in front of that off-speed pitch, down by the label just a little bit. Good-looking swing from Carlos. I stand corrected. He went 6 1/3 versus Boston in one of his starts earlier in the year, but he's been pretty consistent, 5-inning type of starter.
80 total innings and 10 home runs. Line drive, base hit into the right field corner. Pence over to dig it out, and Aswahe on his way to second base. The throw comes into the cutoff man, and the Padres have runners at second and third. The first major league hit for Carlos Aswahe, a ringing double to right. Save that baseball. That's a big souvenir for Aswahe.
His adrenaline, his heart has got to be pumping right now. Hey, he pulls one down the right field line because he's out in front of it a little bit too much. How about letting this one travel just a little bit more? Some serious topspin. And utilizes that speed. It was fun to watch him go out of that box around first base. And congratulations to Carlos Aswahe.
Glenn Hoffman, the coach at third, along with John Jay, giving him a standing ove. So second and third with no one out, and Will Myers, the first baseman. Hits that one high and deep to center field. Back goes Span, still going back to the wall. Touch 'em all! Will Myers, a 3-run home run to right center field, number 28 for the Padres first baseman, and they take an early 3-0 lead.
First pitch, hanging breaking ball, and Will Myers stays on it perfectly. It's got that sound. That kid is some kind of strong. And just like that, a 3 spot in the bottom of the first.
Out into the San Diego beach. And that's number 28 for Myers. He's got a good shot at hitting that 30 mark this year. A couple more RBIs, 3 in fact. 91 knocked in for Myers on the season. A chance for a 100 RBI year. Big time. Ryan Schimpf, a swing and a miss. So Myers now holds the Petco Park record. Most hits, 60. Most home runs, 18. Most RBIs, 56. Most extra base hits, 41. Shall I keep going? Most runs scored, 57. Yes, sir. Home cooking. He loves playing here at the nation's most beautiful ballpark. Foul tip, 1-2. Home run measured at 406 feet.
Now that's crushing a mistake. And first pitch breaking ball too. Suarez trying to get a little cute there and locate that, but he left it right over the heart of the plate.
Inside, levels the count. Yeah, for the Padres, that's their 169th home run of the year. They need only 3 more to tie the all-time record. You have to go back to the second season of the franchise. Back in 1970, they hit 172. And Myers makes it 169 this year. You wouldn't have thought this club leaving spring training might be the biggest home run hitting team of Padres history.
I would have lost that bet.
Me too. Another base hit as Schimpf knocks that one into shallow left center field off the head of the bat. 4 straight hits for the Padres. Single J, double Asuaje. Myers the 3-run homer, and Schimpf dunks one into left center for a single.
And he stays back just enough and gets some good extension on that changeup. That ball is well off the plate. Well, Ryan Schimpf, he can hit him 420 feet. He can hit him 80 feet. He can hit him 110 feet for the single. Oh yeah, really hard holding back the smiles for Andy Green.
That's his 58th hit, only his 18th single. He has more home runs than singles, 19 of those. Alex Dickerson, 258 average, and clubbed his 10th home run last night. A no-doubter over the home run deck. Taken low, in case you weren't with us last night, as a pinch hitter. Bang! What a sound. Well back into the bleachers. Well, that's a lot better than middle of the winter. You look at your stats, 9 home runs. Now he sees double figures, 10 dingers. Low and inside, 2-0.
I think this kid's going to be dangerous someday, Alex Dickerson. I mean, I don't know much about hitting, but I've learned a lot from Mark Sweeney, and when he breaks down swings and the way Alex Dickerson gets to the baseball and utilizes the whole field, I think it's something special.
There's your evidence of this logically becoming the all-time home run hitting team. High pop-up, way up into the night, waiting for it to come down. Denard Span in shallow center. That's the first out. Let's take a look at the keys to the game tonight, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, Salve Suarez, remember the last time against the San Diego Padres, he went 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, he gave up only 1 run. And flashback Friday, last Friday, or the Friday that Edwin Jackson, his first outing against the Giants, remember he went 6 1/3 of no-hit baseball, but he gave up the 3-run shot. Hopefully Edwin Jackson can flash back to that start and duplicate that tonight.
And why not? Hunter Renfroe, 2 for 4 last night in his major league debut. Takes it outside. Did not go. 30 home runs in El Paso, and this rough start by Suarez has the bullpen busy early. Reynolds and Cantos. Reynolds the left-hander. Back into the crowd, 1-1. Mississippi State Bulldog took his teammates to the World Series, College World Series. Padres' #1 pick, number 1 4 years ago. To the left side. There's one, and to the first base, and it's not in time. Big guy can run a bit. Legs out the relay, safe from the fielder's choice.
Well, even from up here, I thought that Hunter Renfroe was safe, knowing that he's got to really pick him up and put him down to stay out of the double play, and he is safe, just by a little bit.
Landed that left foot on the sack, just in front of the reception by Belt.
Ron Wotus giving the thumbs down to Bruce Bochy, the bench coach for the Gigantes.
Austin Hedges steps up. Back with the big club. He played in 56 games last year. Good numbers at El Paso despite missing almost 2 months with that broken hamate in the wrist. 21 home runs. I mean, he was on pace for 30 home runs himself and 100 RBIs. Had a hit last night. Slices that one down the right field line into the corner and away from Pence out of play. Well, let's check on the top tier player profile. That's brought to you by Arco. Albert Suarez has been outstanding in the first 2 innings this year, but collapses from the third inning on. Just the reverse tonight as the Padres' first 4 hitters get base knocks, including the 3-run home run from Myers.
Yeah, the Padres putting on a hitting clinic here in the first inning.
1 strike on Hedges.
A triple shy of the cycle here in the first.
Sharply hit, but right at Adrianza. He gets the force at second. Padres settled for 3 runs on 4 hits, leave 1. Suarez first major league hit sets the table. He has a double, and Will Myers drives one over the right center field barrier, and the Padres lead it 3-0.
One thing that's really special for me yesterday to see was in the clubhouse I saw Derek Norris taking them through a lot of charts that we've used this year, a little bit different than what they've used in the past here. And so to see Derek Norris invest in Austin Hedges, that's what you want to see.
Well, the key word there that you heard Andy Green just say, invest. And that is something that team-wide, the veterans have done such a good job just in the past couple of days with these young guys coming up from AAA El Paso. Derek Norris sitting down, going over those charts with Austin Hedges just a couple of hours after Austin arrived in the clubhouse on Thursday. And invest as well. Andy Green checking out these guys. He said, this next couple of days, these past 2 weeks, this is going to give me a chance to see what issues need to be addressed, what we need to talk about and work with these guys going into the offseason and spring training next year.
All right, thank you, Julie. Hunter Pence to lead off the Giants second, followed by Brandon Belt and Edward Nunez. High limb. He'll go after those pitches, and on 3 tosses, Pence takes the long walk. First strikeout for Jackson.
Oh, the four-seam fastball upstairs. Uno dos. Adios. Cannot catch up. The barrel kind of dipping underneath that high fastball. Going up the ladder by design.
Brandon Belt, the first baseman. He's kind of cleaned up his hitting stroke here of late, last 14 games, hitting .319. But since the All-Star break, Belt is staggered at the plate, .227, only 6 home runs. You know, he has 16 home runs on the year. There it is. That's the fewest home runs by the team leader in the major leagues. Every other team has someone hitting more than 16 homers. Nubs that one foul. So when you think about the hitting slump, almost a team slump, and the bad bullpen, in a way, it's miraculous that they're still in the wild card hunt. 9 games to go.
Here's Bochy trying to push all the right buttons to get to that postseason. They've done it before. He's done it before.
And they've won the World Series as the wild card. 1-2 now to Belt. Compare the Giants' home run totals. Myers leads the Padres with 28. Schiff has 19. Shift on, drastically so. Up and in. 2-2. Asuaje out in shallow right. Schiff from third base over to the second base side with Sardinas guarding the entire left side. High again. Full count. Well, his last out at Colorado, he just soon degoused the tape. 8 runs, 10 hits in less than 5 innings. And then there have been other games where he actually flirts with a no-hitter late. And too high. First base runner for the Giants on a walk by Belt. He walks more than any Giant. That's 97 free passes.
With MLB.TV Premium, watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 supported devices. And enjoy a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV.
Third baseman Eduardo Nunez hitting .266 as a Giant, 4 home runs. In the American League earlier, .296 at 12 homers. And a good base stealer. Strike one. Looked as if he was trying to shoot that one to right field.
And the higher the pitch, the easier that is to do. Remember, the pitches to Brandon Belt were up. And Edwin Jackson, he's been around the block many, many times. Got to make that adjustment and start to work down in the zone. Hopefully get a grounder. There you go.
0-2.
See, Austin Hedges really over-exaggerating the target on that last pitch prior to the last pitch. Rather than on the corner at the knees, hey, get it down out of the zone and make that pitcher extend and get out there. And that's exactly what he did.
So Jackson ahead of the count, 2 strikes.
See Austin point down. Point it down and away, get it down there.
He does. Strike 3. A couple of punch outs. Pence and Nunez here in the second for Edwin Jackson.
Nice tight slider, good late break, good tilt, and another Uno Daus, adios. And Austin Hedges claps for his pitcher. Way to go. 2 gone.
Joe Panik finally dug his way out of an 0-for-24 run with a double last night. Even at that, he's 2 for the last 34. Hard to believe for a guy that's the hardest in the National League to strike out. He strikes out only once every 10.76 plate appearances. He's not striking out, but he's not finding the holes either. Sales outside, 1-1. Game 3 tomorrow night. 5:40 start. We'll be on the air at 5 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego with Padres Live. The pregame show, Jared Cozart for the Padres looking for his first win as a San Diegan, and Madison Bumgarner, the big left-hander, looking for his 15th win for San Francisco. 1-2 now to Panik.
Well, it looks like Edwin Jackson has made an adjustment after that walk to Belt. A lot of his pitch has been down in the zone, working quite nicely.
There's Bumgarner behind the post in the dugout with Samardzija, Jeff Samardzija to his left. 7 shutout innings last night for Samardzija. Line drive, right center field. Over to cut it off before it gets through is Renfroe. Then he falls down, and they're going to try to score. No, they put up the brakes, and it's a good thing. Then back to third, not in time. Bell take a big turn at third. For a moment, it looks as if they were going to try to score when Renfroe fell down. Took the ball right away from Jay, but with that strong arm of Renfroe, he got it into the relay man, and that ball was on its way to the plate. And wisely held up. At third base was Bell.
Well, the Padres defensively may have saved a run here. When you look at it, there's the slip. Hunter Renfroe hits the target. Now get it in. Roberto Kelly, the third base coach for the Giants, he was well down the line. He was kind of like in a holding pattern until late. I mean, Brandon Belt, he was very close to getting picked there at third base, but a late stop sign from Roberto Kelly.
So 2 in scoring position with 2 outs to A-Ray Adrianza.
You know, the Padres may have scored saved a run there with the accuracy and the strong arm of Hunter Renfroe in that play.
Exactly. He got it in a hurry.
And he hit the cutoff man right in the chest. Well, let's take a look. Right to the knees of the cutoff man. Cut off by Will Myers. Perfectly executed. And once again, Belt doesn't have that blazing speed, so that works to the advantage of San Diego.
Jackson and the Padres leading 3-0, 2 on in scoring position. This is another one of the failures of this Giants team, unable to produce with runners in scoring position. 5 for the last 36. A chance for Bochy's team to cut into the 3-0 advantage. Belt at third. Panik at second. Adrianza, 291. He's had only 55 at bats. Good block by Hedges. Brandon Crawford dislocated his left pinky finger on Tuesday night, sliding head first, so he's on the pine with Adrianza taking over. Getting left-handed, batting only 182. First base open, pitcher next. Now Jackson can work to Adrianza carefully. He loses him, and he gets the pitcher up.
And if he wants to bounce one, Austin Hedges has got to be on his game to smother that ball, prevent a run from coming home.
Ground ball weakly to second. Asuaje to Myers, inning over. Giants lead 2 in scoring position. Padres up 3-0.
Myers had been in El Paso at some point in time this season. The 7 other guys in the lineup had been. So they get a lot of ownership over what's happening here. Berkey looked like a proud dad when Hunter got his first hit. So I know he's thrilled for that. Rod loves his guys and played well for him all year. So picking their brains, getting a feel for what they think about their guys and the best way to platform them for success going forward.
Well, Andy Green's got some company here for the next 2 weeks. He's got Rod Barajas, the manager of the AAA Chihuahuas, and he's also got Morgan Burkhart, the hitting coach of the Chihuahuas. Both guys are here, and gentlemen, apparently Rod Barajas is going to spend some time in the booth with y'all.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. He'll give us some insights into these young guys. Obviously very proud of the performance. PCL champs. High fly ball, Sardinhas to left field. Retreating Pagan to the track, and the first down. And Edwin Jackson, the pitcher, comes up. 4 for 18 as a Padre. Yeah, it's interesting to see the team Padre approach going back to spring training, and all the coaches, hitting coaches, pitching coaches, trainers, they're all there at one time.
Yep.
And Andy Green integrated some of the the guys that come in with 99 on their back and get them a bat or two. Oh, Ryan Schimpf was one of those.
That's right.
Barely knew him.
That's the beauty about baseball. You never know. It could be a non-roster guy. It could be a no-name player that nobody knows anything about. What do you know? Next thing you look up, 19 home runs in the big leagues.
Yeah, how about that? Barajas had a terrific major league career himself, 14 seasons.
How about Ryan Buchter from the pitcher's perspective? What a year he has had out of the bullpen for San Diego.
Jackson takes 1-2. Didn't go. 2-2.
Suarez is kind of a slinger. Doesn't really follow through over that front leg very much. Just kind of, as soon as he gets rid of it, kind of recoils a little bit and slings it with that arm.
Chopped by the mound. Charged by the third baseman Nunez. Good play. Took it right away from Adrianza, the shortstop. 2 away. Well, up to the north, Dodger Stadium, a big to-do as Vin Scully, his wife Sandy, coming out to be honored at Vin Scully Tribute Night. Key to the city. They've named one of the approaching highways into Dodger Stadium Vin Scully Drive. The redhead from Fordham. Just a week left in his tremendous broadcasting career. It's going to be a big hole in baseball when he walks away. There's just no one's going to fill what he has accomplished in 7 decades of broadcasting.
And here at home in San Diego on Thursday, we're going to honor our own great Dick Enberg. It's going to be fun, Professor.
Well,
last home game here at Petco Park.
I'll just, why don't we just give him a little wave?
We're going to honor the Chippewa, and we hope you all join us.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah, it will.
Here's John Jay. Ground ball to the right side, and Panic closing the hole. And that's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Albert Suarez. After 2 at Petco, the Padres lead by 3. third, and Rod Barajas, who managed the El Paso Chihuahuas to the PCL championship. You're still smiling about that, huh, Skipper?
Oh, it was an exciting time. You know, the guys, they tremendous effort. They went out there day in and day out, and you know, they brought home a championship, and that was what we asked. That was my goal at the beginning of the season for these guys, and they got it done.
Let's go player by player. Carlos Asuaje. Tell us more about him.
Well, hard worker. I mean, this guy puts the time in. He's in the cage early. He's you know, working on his ground balls day in and day out. You know, and the kid can swing the bat. You know, I think he hit about 320 this year, and you know, during the season was Rookie of the Year in the PCL. He just goes out there, and every at bat's a quality at bat. It's a struggle for the pitchers to get him out, and he just makes these guys work hard. So, you know, he was tremendous for us this season.
Albert Suarez, the pitcher, hits one to the right field corner. Here's the throw by Renfroe off the mark. And a leadoff two-base hit by the opposing pitcher, and that gets the Giants fans up and making some noise. Okay, from Suarez, Asuaje gets his double tonight, so that'll make you feel good as well. And how about Hunter Renfroe?
You know, tools. He's got all the tools. This guy's got a big arm. He hit the ball for power. This year he hit the ball for average for the first time, which was kind of you know, what we were looking for in Hunter. You know, he was always a big swing and miss guy, a lot of strikeouts. He was able to cut down on those this year, and you know, we all know in the outfield he's got a cannon for an arm. He's you know, he's special in a lot of different areas of the game, and you know, another guy like Asuaje, he came to the field every single day ready to work. You know, his BPs got better, his cage work got better, and you know, and it showed with his consistency throughout the season. So, you know, another guy who you know, that the Padres are excited about.
30 home runs. Do you think, looking into your crystal ball, he could be a 30 home run hitter in the big leagues?
Oh, without a doubt. You know, he's got that, you know, tremendous power. He hit one off of the jumbotron out there in left field today in batting practice. You know, it's just raw, strong power. I mean, this guy can hit the ball to all parks, to all fields, in any single park. You know, it's just a matter of him continue to get better, continue to get accurate with that swing and hitting the ball in the barrel.
Fly ball to right field, innocently enough, off the bat at Denard Span, and look at that throw coming in. He's going to keep runners honest.
Well, Rod, one guy that's going to pay dividends hopefully at the big league level on both ends with the glove and the bat. How about Manuel Margot? He's got some speed, obviously. Tell us a little bit about him.
Oh, he's special. You know, he's a young guy. He's still, you know, still in his early 20s, and you know, he does a lot of things well in the field. As a defender in the outfield, he takes away hits, takes away extra base hits. His arm, you know, not a lot of people talk about his arm, but he led the PCL in assists. He's got a very accurate arm. And at the plate, you know, if Manny goes, we go. You know, in the playoffs, he was the guy who, you know, stepped up that first round. He got on base. He makes the pitcher uncomfortable. He's stealing base. He's going first to third. He just creates havoc when he's on the bases, and it just makes the team better. So, you know, he was, especially in that playoff stretch, he was probably the biggest reason that we were able to win the championship.
And as a former catcher, Rod, how about Austin Hedges?
You know, Hedgie, I fell in love with Hedgie. He's just a, you know, a great kid. Another guy with, you know, the work ethic. He works with his pitchers, and the only thing that you know, we knew he could hit. You know, the question was, you know, let's see you be a leader, Austin. Let's see you take over this team and you know, rally these guys and push them. You know, especially during that playoff stretch, and that was exactly what he did. He took control of the pitching staff. He made sure the energy in the clubhouse was where it needed to be. And this guy's going to defend. He's going to hit. And, you know, he's a special one. He's another guy you want to be strong up the middle. And with him and Manny out in center field, our future looks pretty good.
Hey, Rod, when did it click? When did you feel this club had a chance to win the PCL?
I'd say about a month into it. We had a really slow start. You know, I think we were 1-5, 1-6 our first week into the season. But, you know, slowly but surely, guys started getting better. Guys started getting better at bats. The pitching started to get better. And, you know, the thing for me was the depth. You know, we had great depth. You know,
that's hot sauce.
Somebody goes to the big leagues, and we have you know, somebody right behind them. So being able to you know, just have that next guy step in, and I knew right away that we would you know, we'd be okay, and we would.
Oh, he's not going to do it.
Yeah,
oh,
he did
it.
No, but it was you know, just a great group of guys who worked. You know, they proved to me early on that they were going to be professional. They were going to do things the right way, and with the talent we had, I knew we'd be okay.
Rod, thanks a lot for visiting with us. Go get a mouthwash there.
Thanks, Rod.
No problem.
Rod Barajas, the manager of the El Paso PCL champions. What a good guy. Well, runner at third now with 2 outs to Posey. As a fly out by Span, a ground out Pagan. After the leadoff double by the pitcher Suarez here in the top of the third.
We'd like to thank Tree Boy from the clubhouse bringing that Cholula hot sauce out for the skipper Rod Barajas.
Do you think he really took a swig at
that? Believe it.
Was that fire
just
coming
a couple
out of his
drops.
ears? Yeah. Oh, that's hot sauce. That's a strike on the outside corner. 2-2 to Posey. He silently stares out at that corner as if to say, "Are you sure about that?"
Well, it looked like it was off the plate a little bit, but we say so many times the opposing catcher, they really can't argue because they're going to want that for their pitchers.
Hit it hard the first time up the middle, but Suaje able to range behind second to throw him out. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The Giants have a chance, and once again, runners in scoring position, unable to deliver the big hit. And fans, that is hot sauce. Hot sauce. Of the trade brought to you by Ram Trucks.
Starting second baseman for the Padres, Carlos Asuaje with the leather first. He always backs up on this one, plays the big hop, crow hop, and a throw. A nice pick by Will Myers. It's worth another look to get that first out off the bat of the last out in the first inning off Buster Posey, and then turning on this one. Remember, prior to that pitch, he was a little bit too quick with the foul ball. This one doubled down the right field line in the first inning. And it's all good early on for Carlos Asuaje.
And that set the table. Jay had singled for Will Myers' 3-run home run. Last of the third, Asuaje to start things with Myers and Schimpf. Very quick to the ball and a compact swing.
You know, before the interview, I was talking to Carlos in our pregame. He said his dad actually broke down and cried last night.
Oh.
It was a very emotional time for him.
High fly ball to center. Span backpedaling, squeezes the first down. Yeah, he was a delight, Julie, with an interview with Papa Asuaje, and you could see his buttons were popping. He was so proud.
Yeah.
He's here again tonight, one must think. Will Myers, home run number 28 in the first inning, and now has crossed the 90 RBI mark with 91. Well, he went through about a month of hitting slump after the All-Star break, but looks as if he's got his swing back together.
And when he's swinging the bat well, he goes to the opposite field. A home run was using the big part of the field in that first inning.
Yeah, he's hit safely 11 of the last 12 games. Slaps that one foul.
I remember Will telling me that When he's at his best, he doesn't drift with his body towards home plate. He stays back and then drives with his arms and his hands, and he really drove that one to the opposite field.
406 feet on the home run. Number 28. And he drives that one through the hole on the left side. 2 for 2 is Myers.
Well, he went down and got this one. Knob of the bat towards the baseball. The barrel will follow. Staying tall, not drifting.
No quiver in the bat contact. Hit that one on the sweet spot. 1 out single brings up Ryan Schimpf. He blooped a hit to left field his first time. Five hits now for the Padres. And Myers, the 25-25-25 man for the Padres, first ever. Home runs 25, doubles 25, steals 25 plus. Got a chance to be 30-30-30.
Yeah.
9 games to go, 8 after tonight. You'll need 2 more home runs. You'll need 9 more RBIs and 4 more steals to be a 30-30-30 man. Now you're talking up in the high rent district, penthouse stuff.
Not bad right there. 81% success rate for Wil Myers.
Posey's had trouble of late throwing out runners, 3 for the last 19. Fooled on that pitch, 90 right there.
Yeah, pretty straight fastball right there.
Just a little late pulling the trigger. Just on the black inside corner. A ball, 2 strikes to Schimpf with Alex Dickerson waiting his turn.
Oh, he's really trying to pound him inside, that's for sure. All 4 pitches on the inner half or in off the plate.
Suarez tough to steal against. He doesn't give you much of a knee rise. He goes directly to the plate. Limited motion, so you don't get that extra 1/3 of a second, 1/2 of a second for a 2-jump start. That's how quickly he comes to the plate. Outside, 2-2.
Now looking at the velocity of Suarez, only 90, 91 on that fastball. Sometimes it'll run arm side, sometimes it's straight. He's hit 93, and on the off speed 74.
Signed as a teenager out of Venezuela at 16, so it took him 10 years to get to the big leagues. Rookie this year, his first game May 6th. Popped up. Foul territory. Third baseman Nunez for the second out. That'll bring up Dickerson and tonight's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean, Crisp, Coors Light. Major League leaders most rookies use this season, and it figures all those teams are down at the bottom of their division, either last place or close to last. So you're going to use more players. And Padres 19 different rookies this year. Dickerson flying to center his first at bat.
Good
off
changeup.
speed, huh?
Yeah, good changeup at 81. Really good arm action on that pitch.
Off the plate, 1-1.
You know, we mentioned the speed differential, the 93 to 74, but this inning, Suarez fastball only been 90-91. That last one was 89.
Myers edging off first base with 2 outs. And out of play. So he comes back with a 90 on that fastball. Up high. No Padre has ever been in the 30-30 club. 30 home runs, 30 steals. And there's only been 23 members of the club since 2000. It's, you know, it's a rare feat.
Yeah.
Myers had a chance to put some capital letters in his bio for next year. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Looks like a fastball away here. Ooh, breaking ball.
And just missed. So full count will give Myers a head start. Bell playing behind, and it's ball 4. The first walk given up by Suarez. Myers to second. Dickerson on, and Hunter Renfroe the batter.
A good plate appearance right there by Alex Dickerson. He laid off a backdoor breaking ball, and he laid off that changeup, which he did swing at earlier in the at bat. So that's a good take. Pass it along to Hunter Renfroe. And the big Ragu, Dave Righetti on the horn of the bullpen.
46 pitches from Suarez. Renfroe grounded into a fielder's choice his first time. Off the fist, foul. He got into his kitchen there. Well, Suarez started the season in the bullpen, handful of relief appearances, then became a starter replacing Jake Peavy in the rotation. But the lessons learned in the bullpen, not very attractive. He pitches very slowly. You learn that, you know, out in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Don't hurry the ball to the plate. Inside 1-1.
You know, that's one thing I've never really understood. I mean, at a young age, I've always thought that pitchers should learn how to work quickly, not so much with your mechanics, but get up on that hill and go to work, as George Contos is up again.
Myers at second, Dickerson at first. Up the middle, knocked down, and it rolls behind the mound, and Renfroe is out by a half step. Good recovery by Suarez to scramble after that and throw him out. Close play at first, but it looked to be out. And that'll be it for the Padres. We'll see whether or not the San Diego dugout's going to challenge here, as Mark McGuire on the phone back to the video room. And at this point, time should be up. Boy, that's bang bang, isn't it?
It sure is.
No challenge. 3 innings in the book. Padres lead 3-0.
3-0 Padres as we head to the top of the fourth. Well, Hunter Renfroe and Hunter Pence share more than just the same first name. They also share a mutual admiration and respect for one another. Hunter Renfroe tells me that his favorite player growing up was Chipper Jones, but over the summer, he had a chance to check out Hunter Pence up close and personal when Hunter Pence was rehabbing a hamstring injury. Down in AAA for the Giants affiliate, they had a chance to play the El Paso Chihuahuas, and Hunter Renfroe really liked the way he went about his business and really admired Hunter Pence. Well, I had a chance to talk to Pence, and he said he took notice of Hunter Renfroe. He said he liked the way he went about his business. He said his bat, he loved his approach in the batter's box. And so then Hunter Renfroe.
And Hunter Pence singles. Continue, please.
Okay, so then Hunter Renfroe said that from now on, his favorite player is Hunter Pence, and apparently they have set up a meeting, so at some point during this series, the two will finally get a chance to meet. And also, Austin Hedges said that when Hunter Pence was at bat, he gave him some words of encouragement on his call-up. Very nice.
Well, he's got good taste, Hunter Renfroe, if he wants to play like Hunter Pence. He's all out. No matter what he's doing on the ball field, Pence does it the right way. Here's Brandon Belt. He walked the first time and takes low ball one. And guess who joined us? Now, you never know who's going to come into our booth, Mark Grant, huh?
Well, I tell you what.
I'm honored by your presence.
Rubbing shoulders with greatness. I mean,
thank you for letting me rub against you then. Can I do that with you too, or are you looking weird?
No, that's enough now, boys.
Can we hug a little bit? Maybe it'll be a hugging night.
Time's running out.
We haven't had one of those in a while.
Time's running out. Save it for October. You can meet out at Harry's Coffee Shop in La Jolla and do that.
Would you like the big hug on your last day, or would
yeah,
you
because
like
there's one coming.
No, I don't want
What?
to. I don't.
Are you sure?
No, you don't touch me unless you love me. No.
Oh, that's easy.
It's really grinding down to the very lowest level of broadcasting, I'm telling you. I'm glad.
Well, I'm so glad I'm a part of that.
I'm glad that I'm closing up shop in the booth because my career's ruined anyway. I mean, it's over. It's over.
Hey, I did see on the big screen when you were down on the floor last year on Pick the Stick. That was one of the funniest moments.
Are you in the cellar again this year, Professor? Are you in last place again?
Oh, yeah, sure. Like you didn't know. Like you didn't know.
He asked for the standings again tonight. He said, can you put those standings up again?
Yeah, he's in first place. I don't know if I like guys that boast the way he does. You know, his buttons are popping.
Hey, congratulations on Pick the Stick.
Yeah, see, he does that stuff too.
Yeah, so come on. Clean it up.
Brandon Belt. And that's a strike 3-1. First time up tonight, he walked for the 97th time. Well, yeah, not going to really pour it on. Yeah, just really pour it on. But Julie Alexandria is off to a good night. She got 8 points on the home run and a single, so she's got 9 more on that total.
Matters.
You know, she was in first place for a while.
She called her shot tonight, and I like it.
Yeah.
She went very aggressive, and she's taken Will Myers 3 days in a row.
Nice try, Julie.
I'm trying, guys. Trying real hard.
Yeah, I was hoping to catch her, but I can see, Julie. You pushed me into the cellar, but you know, I like it down here. You can find some wine down here. It's a little musty.
Yeah.
Another foul, counted 3-2.
Both pitchers tonight not afraid to throw inside. I saw that last night with the rookies. Remember, we made point of that. Edwin Jackson trying to tie up Brandon Belt with that shift on the right side. Hoping to roll a double play.
Shift on, but the Padres, Suaje, not out on the outfield grass with a man at first. And Pence will steal you a bag. There's Suaje and third baseman Schimpf playing over on the second base side with Sardinas, the lone soul on the shortstop side. Lifted to left, but slicing into foul territory. That'll be down in Souvenir Corner. Well, in his career, Edwin Jackson, this is remarkable. Buster Posey 0 for 12, Pence 4 for 17, and Belt wearing the collar 0 for 8. 37 at bats between them with only 4 hits.
That's dominating.
And you wonder why, and it has a lot to do with picking up the release point. It's always different for certain pitchers, and it's sometimes not even an understanding, because then you'll see some dominating numbers against some of the best pitchers in the game. But Edwin Jackson has their number.
Another ball slicing into the Souvenir Corner. Almost identical. Well, a reminder, tonight's game presented by Sony, the leader of 4K Ultra HD. Those brown and gold uniforms look mighty nice in HD.
They do look nice.
I like the hat with the gold panel and the brown SD.
Well, you've seen the outfield now shift around. We've seen some foul balls down the left field line. Alex Dickerson hugging the line. Also John Jay shifted over on the shortstop side.
It's amazing. The infield way over to the right, the outfield way over to the left.
Yeah,
right field corner wide open.
You'll usually see that a lot, and it's a good defensive alignment most times.
Another 3-2 pitch. And he lost him. Belt walks for the second time. And here in the fourth, the first 2 men on, and brings a tying run to the plate. Eduardo Nunez struck out swinging his first time.
Well, it's crunch time in the second inning for Edwin Jackson, and he got out of that with a 4-3. But nobody out here. Got some work to do.
When you strike out your first at bat, watch the first couple of pitches. He's going to be aggressive on this. Eduardo Nunez is known for his aggressiveness. See his numbers with runners in scoring position.
And you total his season, counting the American League with the Giants, he has 16 homers. See how he sets up. Slightly open. He's not bunting. Off speed strike. 29 years of age. Nunez from the Dominican Republic. Infield set for 2. And Jackson ahead, 2 strikes.
Well, pitching backwards, first pitch breaking ball for a strike, and then a fastball. See what he goes to here, trying to induce him into a double play.
You know, a couple times tonight, Mark, Edwin Jackson has been in this situation, and he has shaken off fastballs, gone to the slider. He got Posey striking out on that slider earlier. That was in the 3rd inning. See if he goes to that breaker down and away here.
Wouldn't chase, but that was well placed. 1-2.
Derek Brock talking with Manuel Margot. We're talking some shifting, some watching the hitters swing, possibly how to read the ball off the bat, possibly.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. He did get him to chase the slider. First out. And the 4th strikeout for Jackson.
Hey, good breaking ball. Remember the one before? It was well out of the zone, but that one is close enough to entice Nunez to go fishing. Throw a little chum out there, the fish will bite. And he did just that. It's a good pitch.
That'll bring up Joe Panik, who doubled to right center. His first at bat. Doubled last night as well.
And Panik is in second place in the grounding and the double plays department to Buster Posey with 17. Panik has 14.
Outside.
You watch Joe Panik over the years, and he's done a really nice job with the ball elevated. So see if they try to drive that ball down in the strike zone.
Left field hit well. Dickerson comes over, makes the catch. Throw back to second, not in time. Dickerson read that off the bat, and that was a good play by the left fielder for the second out.
Well, we talked about it earlier in this inning, the defensive shift, but in the outfield, shifted over, taking that line drive away. Watch Dickerson off the bat. This looked like it was going down, but because he's played shifted over, and the ability of John Jay, the captain in center field, to have him go over there, this is properly defended.
Ball slicing big time there. Good read by Alex.
Number 8 hitter Adrianza steps up. He grounded to second his first time. That was with runners at second and third. Ties him up. Cutter inside. Ground ball, right side. Suaje there, edge of the grass, and throws him out. Jackson pitches out of trouble again. We go to the bottom of the fourth. The Padres leading 3-0. It's game break. Look who's up there clubbing another home run. Big Papi. His 37th home run in Tampa, Florida tonight. David Ortiz. What a senior citizen effort as they win another game. The first place Red Sox. Toronto and Baltimore also won. The Red Sox maintain their 5.5 game lead in the American League East. Quite a battle for the wild card in the American League. Toronto and Detroit both won tonight. They now share the 2 spots for the wild card, but only a half game ahead of Baltimore. Austin Hedges leads off the Padre 4th inning with Sardinas and Jackson to follow.
Detroit's done a good job outscoring their opponents 30-10 during the prior to tonight's victory.
Yeah, they've won 5 in a row now. Breaking ball misses. 2-0. A lot of interesting races. That wild card really has brightened interest in the final weeks of the season.
Exciting times for baseball.
3-0 to Austin Hedges. Hit the ball hard the first time, but right at shortstop Adrianza.
Well, this is when Austin really looks inside, because that pull power is real. So look for him to maybe get that 2-seamer.
There it is.
3-1. Swahe there with John Jay. Swahe with a double, his first major league base hit tonight.
And that final out
popped him up back of the plate, back toward us.
Final out of the top of the fourth. You see Carlos Swahe having a conversation with Eddie Rodriguez, an infield instructor on this staff. But they're constantly thinking about the footwork and what goes on with that, and always working before games is this coaching staff, and all the players are buying in.
Fouled at the plate. Swahe very generous in his praise of Eddie Rodriguez in the interview with Mark Grant.
Yeah, and you see him going to his left side, the glove side, and also the footwork and getting in throwing position. Eddie Rodriguez is constantly going to be thinking about how you can gain ground laterally, which is really important as an infielder, and especially playing in the middle of the infield.
You know, Mark, you hit the nail on the head. You talk to any infield instructor, it starts from the ground up, right? From the feet.
Another foul. Count stays full on Austin Hedges, leading off the fourth. Yeah, the Giants in again tomorrow night, 5 o'clock for our Fox Sports San Diego Padres Live pregame show, and then Sunday, 1:40 start. We'll be on the air at 1, and then a day off Monday, and the Dodgers in for the final series of the season, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Another foul. Watch out. That screams into the orange and black section down there on the third base side. Let's take a look at the standings, brought to you by UC San Diego Health. Look at that American League wild card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams within 4 games of being the wild card entry. Toronto and Detroit currently just in front of Baltimore. Seattle won again tonight. They're in the race.
Well, Mark, you mentioned it's the Detroit Tigers, known for that offense at the beginning of the year, and everyone else's offense has been better. But they still have those weapons, and you're wondering if Justin Verlander and the rest of the pitching staff is going to be enough. But I like Toronto. They can solve those younger pitchers being able to pitch deep into the postseason. They're a talented club.
Yeah, Toronto really hasn't had the best September, but they got a team that can turn it on the last week or two, or week and a half.
You know, I constantly remind people too, 1998, one of the worst teams in baseball was us going into the playoffs. And then you flip a switch because it is different intensity, and whoever's hot and pitching the best, which happened for us. We ended up beating Houston Astros. We go through the Atlanta Braves.
And finally, Suarez on the 11th pitch of that bat wins the duel with a breaking ball over the heart of the plate. First out. And for Suarez, his first strikeout.
Good curveball, and it buckled Austin Hedges. Right down the middle.
So here's Sardinas, long out to left field his first time. 60 pitches now for Suarez.
Mark, you just mentioned a little phrase, flip the switch.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I think I was there. When Greg Vaughn hit his 50th home run, was that the switch that was flipped for your club?
It was, because we were dying for him to have that personal accomplishment, and it was huge because we had that closeness of a group. And when Hootie and the Blowfish, Greg Vaughn, ended up hitting that 50th home run, it was pretty important on the last day, his last at bat in Arizona.
Yep.
Into the bullpen in left field.
Hootie, love Hootie.
Oh.
Hold my hand.
Yeah, I would.
A ball, 2 strikes to the Padres shortstop. Tried to bring it outside in, failed to find the corner. 2-2. Pitcher Edwin Jackson on deck. 64 pitches for 10 outs. Another foul, the breaking ball.
Yeah, he's fallen in love with that curveball.
Yeah, he's got a good feel for it. You always hear that from pitchers of getting a good feel for that curveball, and he's showing it this inning especially.
Inside. Full count. Hit well to left field. That chases Pagan back, and he's got room to make the catch. That's twice that Sardinus has hit the ball hard to the opposite field. Edwin Jackson with 2 outs, bases empty. He grounded to short his first at bat. Well, the Padres have had considerable success on Friday night. It's usually a fun night out in the park and on the field. They're 15-9 on Fridays and lead 3-0 tonight.
I always wonder in situations, especially in National League styles, with 2 outs, pitchers up, why not just take a hack? You got a 3-0 lead. You're looking for an extra base here.
By the mound, out to second to Panic, and he throws out Jackson. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Suarez. We go to the 5th, 3-0, the home side. Arizona and the Orioles. That's Mark Trumbo, a walk-off homer, his 44th of the season, the Major League high. Trumbo, what an addition to the O's. So the top teams going for the wild card in the American League, Toronto, Detroit, Baltimore have all won. They're separated by only a half game. Houston lost tonight to the Angels, so they're now 2.5 back at the wild card spot. And we're going to have a pinch hitter for Suarez to lead off the 5th inning.
Johnny LeMaster? No.
Jarrett Parker is going to hit for Suarez.
I was going old school Giants. I was thinking maybe Gene Richards, former Padre as well.
Yes.
He could hit.
He could choke up, too.
Yes. Used a very thick-handled bat.
Yep.
Parker hitting .238 on the season with 5 home runs. Shift on. They're playing him as a dead pull hitter. So in the NL wildcard race, the Mets in San Francisco tied 81-72 going into tonight's play. The Mets have won. St. Louis has lost. They are just a half game behind New York and San Francisco. Foul back.
So we talked about it earlier. Matt's scratched, right? He gone. Syndergaard, bone chip in the elbow.
Matt Harvey.
Matt Harvey, they gone. So it's going to be tough for Terry Collins.
Well, he's done a phenomenal job. You think about it, Asdrubal Cabrera might have had one of the biggest moments of their season last night, down 2, and he had a 3-run home run to walk him off
in the 12th inning. Pye, and 1 and 2 to Parker. So Suarez goes 4 innings, allows 3 runs, 5 hits, walked 1, and struck out 1. He's out of there, taken on the outside corner. That's number 5 for Jackson.
Is this a lane changer here? 2-seamer? Oh, you betcha. Austin Hedges does a great frame job there, and that's a big punch out for Edwin Jackson.
Top of the order, Denard Span, soft liner to second and a fly ball to right. Pitching matchup tomorrow night is fascinating. 5 o'clock for our Fox Sports San Diego pregame show. In that Jared Cozart has yet to win for the Padres, 0-4 against the winningest pitcher for the Giants, Bumgarner, who's 14-9.
Oh, look at it.
Oh, Mad Bum be.
It's going to be a good matchup, Mark. Only flying closer.
2-0 to Span.
Denard.
He's got to hear what you're doing.
I tell him I get all over. I tell him I do my impression of him every time. He just kind of laughs.
Like a gentle bear.
Yeah, he is. The Prince of Poway, Bruce Bochy.
I thought you said Alex Dickerson is.
He's the
Mike Pomerantz, Alex Dickerson.
No, not even close. Pomerantz.
What's Pomerantz?
There's the Prince. Alex Dickerson would be the.
Pomerantz is the pauper.
The pauper of Poway.
That might stick.
Yeah.
That's in there. 2-2.
Well, Edwin Jackson's got the feel for the cut fastball and that slider. You know, it might take you 30, 40 pitches to find that one secondary pitch in a ball game. You might not have that feel in the bullpen.
You use the cutter and paste a strikeout.
There you go. I like it.
Down low, full count. Curveball. 70 pitches coming up. He's kept it under 20 for a given inning.
I'll take that.
What's the average? About 16, 17?
Yeah.
16 and a half. Good call, Professor.
Had the good sound, but he was out in front. Many of you.
Well, pretty basic delivery from Edwin Jackson. He's been around a long time. Pretty solid mechanics. Good extension. That front side, pull that glove in, the elbow to get up on top. And when that front foot hits, that's the position that the pitcher should be in. And it's just a little bit, it's almost like hitting Mark Sweeney with the hands being set, right?
Yep.
If you don't set back soon enough, you're going to get beat. You have to catch up and probably get jammed. Same thing for a pitcher. You don't get that arm in the right position. You work underneath it, you try to catch up, and that spells trouble.
And it's low, ball 4. That's the third walk for Jackson. And with 1 out, brings up Angel Pagan as we check our greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. MLB News and Notes. Michael Conforto of the Mets 2 for 3 and a 10-5 win against the Phillies. Trumbo hits that 44th home run. They beat Arizona on the walk-off 3-2. Nelson Cruz of Seattle 2 for 5. Double a home run for RBIs. Mariners win 10-1 against the Twins. That's the 99th loss for Minnesota. So 1 out, 1 on. Pagan is flying to right and grounded to second. Ball one. "11 home runs matches his career high, Pagan. Ooh, almost threw it away. Good dig by Myers.
Well, that's a tough one, especially right-handed first baseman going across their bodies into the runner.
Matt Reynolds throwing again in the bullpen for the Giants. He apparently is going to come in bottom of the 5th.
Another pitcher on the right there, former pitcher, right-hander Mark Gardner. Good guy, huh?
Love Gardy. Such a great combination. You always wonder about these pitching staffs and the tutelage that they get. Mark Gardner, Dave Righetti. It's one of the best combinations in baseball, in my opinion.
Yeah, they got a good staff down there.
2-0 and 3-0. He's walked Span, now falls deep in the hole. 3-0.
Well, the pitch prior to that, Dick, was a fastball at 90, and keep an eye on the velocity from Edwin Jackson. It was a straight fastball as Darren Balsley.
He's had base runners every inning except the first. And the 6th time he's reached a 3-ball count.
Oh, do you think this would be an automatic take for Pagan?
Wow, 4-pitch walk, back-to-back. Free tickets, Span and Pagan. 4 walks in the game. Jackson.
And that fastball was at 93, just missing out of the zone low. Time for a little chat, a little scouting report, a little rest there for Edwin Jackson.
Buster Posey coming to the plate for the Giants. But Jackson, the fact that he might walk a lot of batters doesn't mean he won't pitch well. When he threw the no-hitter against Tampa Bay, what did he walk? 8 men that time? It's back in 2010. Posey, hard ground ball out behind second base. Swahe threw him out, and he struck out the last time.
Well, you think about the tough time he's had against Edwin Jackson. What a perfect time it would be to get his number 18 and grounded into double plays. He leads the team.
Two on, 1 away. Tying run represented by Posey at the plate. Just catches the outside edge.
Great pitch.
Hunter Pence to follow Buster Posey.
Get it in there. Yeah, as soon as Austin set up inside, I was thinking, okay, got to get it in there. And he missed low, and Buster takes.
Look at the eyes of Hitches. He's just staring out from behind that mask.
Yeah, fully committed to his task. And #1 priority is handling this staff.
Tells him to shake off, shake off. Give Posey something to think about. Ooh, good block, way outside and low. So 2-1. Strike zone jumping on Edwin Jackson here in the 5th inning. Through the backstop screen, framing the hitter Posey. Three and 1. All around the plate. But after walking a couple, you're not going to get that call from the plate umpire, crew chief Winters.
Well, this is going to be interesting. Do you try to dot a fastball or do you throw the breaking ball 3-1? Remember, the first pitch of the at-bat was a perfectly placed fastball for strike one.
Two on with the walks, Span and Pagan. And 3-1 at Posey.
Is that a little cut fastball, guys?
It was. Perfectly placed.
So full count to Posey.
That's a workload and not the best ratio, but one more good pitch can get Edwin Jackson out of this little mess that he's in right now.
Line drive foul way out in front.
Little slider, cut fastball. And luckily Posey was way out in front of it.
See the scoreboard behind the action. 3 in the first. Will Myers 3-run homer. Giants no runs, 3 hits, but a couple of walks. Jackson in trouble, and again the 3-2 pitch coming up to Buster Posey. Runners go, and the ball's hit deep to left center field. Dickerson going back, and can't get it. Off the wall. 2 runs will score. Span and Pagan. It's a 3-2 game on the double by Posey. Well, the wildness cost Jackson. Both walks become runs.
If taken, Mark Sweeney, I think maybe ball 4. How does he get on top of this?
Well, I was looking for something hard, and you can see working the barrel on top of that baseball in our Phantom Cam. What a great shot that is.
Wow.
And that's when you got to tip your cap to the ability of Buster Posey.
As soon as he hit that ball, I was just amazed at how he got to it and hit it so well.
About 3 feet up on the wall in left field. He's at second with 1 out, representing the tying run now on his 33rd double of the year. Couple of RBIs. He's reached the 70 mark. Here's Pence, and he swings and fouls it back.
Well, coming off a line drive to left center in his last at bat, and that was on a slow breaking ball. See how he attacks him here, and maybe work him inside with that first pitch strike.
Runners in scoring position. Pence has been the most productive of the Giants hitters, 330. Posey's hit after 0 for 7 tonight with runners in scoring position. 1-1. He struck out on a pitch up.
Yep, and look at where he likes it. Of his 105 hits, he likes it down the middle. Gets extended on the outer part of the plate. 18 hits, and down also 13 hits. So that's the area you got to stay out of. And from the second inning, remember the strikeout? He went up the ladder, Edwin Jackson did. He could not get on top of it, and when you look at that chart where the most of his hits were, very few hits up top of the zone.
His double last night, the difference in the 2-1 Giants win. Grounds it to short. Sardinius, the quick throw, in time. 2 away. And Brandon Belt, the hitter. Posey had to stay at second.
Well, with Pence getting down the line, Sardinius had to have the quick transfer with that ball. Nice play.
Padre Pen, Dominguez, and Buddy Bauman back from El Paso. Belt up twice, walked twice. Off speed, he's out in front, breaking ball.
Breaking out the curveball.
Not a lot of success this year with 2 outs and a man in scoring position. Nice block by Hedges.
Well, that's what you got to really feel good about with Austin Hedges, the intangibles that he has behind the dish. Got to learn how to call a game at the big league level, be consistent, but no one is going to complain about the way he blocks baseballs.
See the way he pounced on that like a puma. Got out in front and kept it in front of him. Got to that ball quickly.
A ball and a strike to Belt. Ground ball the first. Myers knocks it down, takes it to the bag himself, and that'll do it. But the Giants get 2 runs on 1 hit, the double by Posey. Sign up for the Padres Club Card today. By Volkswagen Kearney Mesa, awarded best in San Diego County for service and sales. Experience the exceptional at Volkswagen Kearney Mesa. And by Mercury Insurance, we're on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today. Padres on the 3-run homer by Myers, leading 3-2, home half of the 5th. Top of the order, John Jay, the new pitcher, Matt Reynolds, and our pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford.
Well, enter Matt Reynolds, his 8th game, a nice ERA in the short time he's been in there, only 6 frames for the left-hander.
And with 2 left-handed batters at the top of the order, Jay and Asuaje. Bochy counters with the southpaw.
We've only got 15 relievers down there.
Reynolds will celebrate a birthday in the final game of the season. He'll be 32. At ball low, 3-1. And Jay with a bunt, well placed. And he's got himself a base hit. The ball thrown away, but not far enough as the second baseman panicked, able to play the bounce off the wall. And a beautiful bunt single for Jay.
Well, John Jay takes this right out of his toolbox. You really got to love the way he approaches that left-on-left matchup, especially late in the game. Buster Posey does everything he can, but John Jay easily gets down. Laying that bunt down, seeing it down nicely, and legging it out. Nice backup by Joe Panik, the second baseman for the San Francisco Giants.
Half a dozen hits now for the Padres, trying to get one of those runs, maybe more, back after the 2-run double from Buster Posey. Here's Asuaje, a double, his first major league hit, and a fly ball to center. George Cantos throwing in the San Francisco pen. Breaking ball away. Looks as if Bochy has Reynolds in here just to pitch to the 2 left-handed batters. And then with Myers due next, you'll probably see Cantos. Line drive by Panik in the right center field. Jay on his way to third, going for a double is Asuaje. He has a pair of doubles. How about that? That ball struck sharply. Second and third. So they bring in Reynolds, the left-hander, to pitch the 2 left-handed batters, and they both reach safely.
Our phantom swing, you see that, the short to the baseball for Asuaje. And I love this. 2 lefties up to lead off the inning. One lays down a bunt, the other one hits a laser into right center.
And he was going for 2 all the way. So second and third with no one out, and a chance for the Padres to negate the 2 runs scored by the Giants in the top half of the inning.
They're going to put him on and pitch to Schimpf.
Keep the left-hander going against left-handed hitting. Yes, intentional walk to Myers.
With Schimpf up next, and then followed by Alex Dickerson.
But Reynolds, at least to the first 2 left-handed hitters, Jay and Asuaje, wasn't exactly successful. A bunt single and a line drive double. Dickerson in the hole. And here's Ryan Schimpf. Looped a single to left and fouled out to third. Bases full of Padres. One over every pillow. Jay at third, Asuaje at second, Myers at first. No one out, and the Padres trying to fortify their 3-2 lead. Way outside, a breaking ball.
Yeah, I think Ryan Schimpf's afforded to look out over the plate for that fastball and adjust to that bad breaking ball.
Outside again.
Well, those are 2 good takes. The reason why now he has to put something on the plate. Nowhere to put him. So the benefit and all the pressure goes on to the pitcher.
Going to throw 3 curveballs in a row.
I think he's going to try to go fastball away here. Oh, another breaking ball.
Oh, wow. That was wider than the first 2. Wow. 3-0, and no place to put Schimpf. Well, that'll get your gastrics gurgling. Ball 4, didn't come close to throwing a strike. That forces in a run. It's 4-2 Padres as Jay checks in. Credit Schimpf with an RBI.
And a visit from Dave Righetti. Another left-hander having a chat with his pitcher. Going over the scouting report about Alex Dickerson, and also maybe he found something mechanically he could throw his way to get ahead.
A couple of walks, a downfall for Edwin Jackson, top half of the inning, as they both scored on the double by Posey. And now the Giants answer generously with back-to-back walks to Myers and Schimpf. Schimpf with the bases full. And that forces the run in, Jay from third. And here's Alex Dickerson with the bases loaded and no one out. So far, the percentages with a left-hander against left-handed hitters has not paid off for the Giants. Ball 5.
Well, Alex Dickerson 364 with a home run against lefties, 264, excuse me. But he has held his own, and what it's been is that slow breaking ball. Stays in there nicely against the lefties.
There's a strike just on the outside edge.
Here's the numbers.
Less chances against left-handed pitching. Low and inside. Oh, he calls the strike. Yeah, that's a good pitch according to Fox Tracks.
Well, the majority breaking balls, so you got to look breaking ball, I would say, and react to that fastball. Oh, he wants a fastball up here, Buster Posey.
Spoiled by Dickerson.
See how quick he was just to that, just to foul it off.
Yeah. The one thing that comes into mind, though, if you look at some of these pitches by Reynolds, is he hasn't commanded on his arm side with the fastball. Look out over the plate for the fastball, adjust to that breaking ball with 2 strikes.
That ball drilled to right field. Pence over, can't get it. 1 run scores. Here comes another, and the throw to the plate put off, and the Padres have hit a 3 spot here in the bottom of the 5th. From 3-2, and the Padres now lead it 5-2. Dickerson delivers. Suaje and Myers score.
Well, 2-strike hitting, and the breaking ball comes right into that bat path. You see Dickerson holding his ground, and a really nice swing.
6-2 San Diego.
That even has the sound on it.
Reynolds unable to get a man out. Bunt single, double, 2 walks, and a 2-run single for San Diego. Cholula hot, bottom of the 5th inning for the Padres as Matt Reynolds, the left-hander, comes in to try to get left-handed hitters out. Totally unsuccessful and can't get an out. And the Padres have racked up a 3-run inning and still no one out. And 2 runners on in scoring position. Dickerson with a double, or the single at first base, and Schimpf over at third. As Contos, he's a horse that gets a lot of riding during the course of the season for the Giants.
56th game for George Cantos, the veteran right-hander. 3-pitch pitcher. He's got the fastball. He'll cut that fastball with regularity, and the slider.
Hunter Renfroe, the hitter. The rookie is 0 for 2 tonight. Takes outside. So the inning started, a bunt single Jay. Asuaje's second double of the game sent Jay to third. They walked Myers intentionally to load him up. Schimpf walked with the bases loaded for the first run to make it 4-2. And then Dickerson pounded that line drive single to right for 2 more. That one popped up on the infield fly rule, although it's in foul territory, and Belt squeezes the first out. Austin Hedges. Hard ground ball to short and took a third strike. Chance to add on a fly ball. So the Padres flirting with threes tonight. 3 in the first on Myers' 3-run homer and 3 more here in the 5th.
Well, Edwin Jackson still looks like he's in game mode, doesn't he? He's got the towel around the arm.
0-2, breaking ball.
Maybe send him out there for one more.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's getting the batting gloves on.
Just in case. That's optimistic. He's a couple of hitters away. Fly ball, shallow left. In comes Pagan. Tagging is Dickerson. Here comes the throw to the plate, cut off. He scores, and on to second, they get Dickerson. But Schimpf scores on the sac fly, by Austin Hedges, who has his first RBI of the season, and the Padres hit the 4th spot in the bottom of the 5th. First inning, Carlos Asuaje's first major league hit, a double to right field. 2 on, no one out, and Will Myers came up as they saved that souvenir for Asuaje, and Myers tags one deep to right center field. His 28th homer of the year, and the Padres jump in front 3-0 early. After a couple of walks by Jackson, Buster Posey hits one off the bottom of the wall in left field, and that drives in 2. And the Giants pull within 1-3-2, but the Padres explode in the bottom half of the 5th inning. 2 come home on Alex Dickerson's bases loaded single. And the Padres now have a 7-2 lead. Suarez went 4 innings, allows 5 hits and 3 runs. Jackson, 4 hits and 4 walks, 2 runs. Asuaje a pair of doubles, and Will Myers a single and the home run. Jackson back out there to face Nunez, Panic, and Adrianza in the top of the 6th. Nunez has struck out both times.
Next pitch will be number 90 for Edwin.
In position to win his 5th of the year for the Padres. 5 wins, 5 losses. That sounds okay. Schimpf in the dirt, but Myers digs it out. 1 pitch, 1 out. Nunez gone. Joe Panic, a double and a line out to left field. Well, we started tonight by talking about the last 6 home games and starting pitchers for the Padres. A glossy 2.08 ERA, opposing hitters batting only 174. 3.5 strikeouts for 1 walk, and Jackson trying to pin down another excellent start. He's allowed only the 2 runs, and both came because of his wildness.
That's making big pitches and avoiding these stressful innings. Putting the ball in play, let the defense work, and making good quality pitches at that.
Panic followed by Adrianza. Head out of play, 0-2. We've talked about it previously, but in case you weren't with us from San Francisco, you see the 2 numbers on the right sleeve, number 20 and number 12. 20 for Monty Irvin, who passed in the last year, and number 12 for Jimmy Davenport, a great infielder with the Giants. Part of their franchise lore. 1-2.
Well, Mark and I got to spend some time in that Giants uniform, and it is extra special to be in that uniform. A very tight-knit group, and Jim Davenport to be able to talk to him and talk about what their history is all about. And that's what you get.
He was a lifer, man.
Oh, tremendous.
Line, watch out. Right field, that got into the stands in a hurry.
I heard Davey telling a story about Jim Ray Hart. Old Giants to this day say that Jim Ray Hart, as Joe Nathan warms up, he hit the ball consistently harder than Willie Mays.
Wow.
And he got knocked down one time by Bob Gibson, Jim Ray Hart, and Jim Ray didn't know much about, he was young in his career. He starts digging in the box, and Davey's telling the story. Davey was from Alabama, right? He tells a story. Jim Ray Hart got knocked down by a pitch, and he gets back up. He's digging in against Gibson. Everybody from the bench saying, "No, don't do that."
Nobody digs in against Gibby.
He was a class guy through and through, wasn't he?
100%.
Jim Ray Hart, third baseman in the dirt. They tell another story, similar story about Willie Mays, that Mays, as a youngster facing Gibson, and he didn't register to him that you don't dig in against Bob Gibson, and he was digging a toe hold on that right foot, and they were yelling. And then all of a sudden he looks out and sees Gibson, and he goes back on his hands and knees and covers it all up, all the dirt back into the hole, as if Gibson didn't notice.
Oh, the intimidation factor.
Full count now. Joe Panic, 1 out in the top of the 6th.
So important for Edwin and the Padres to put up a 0 here.
Get him a quality start. 6 innings in the books. Bullpen is set up. 96 pitches now for Jackson. And another foul on the cutter. So tomorrow night, 5:40 game time, 5 o'clock for Padres Live, the pregame show with Mike and Mark. And it'll be Jared Kosar trying to win his first game as a Padre, and Madison Bumgarner, a tough guy to beat. The left-hander all-star for the Giants is 14-9. Then Sunday at 1 o'clock our TV time, Clayton Richard and the Giants have yet to name their starter on Sunday. That would have been Johnny Cueto's position in the rotation, but he's has some nagging injuries, and I guess they're waiting to see if he can go on Sunday.
Yeah, they're wondering about how that groin is going to respond and maybe push him back enough. And if they are going to get into the playoffs, Johnny Cueto is going to be at his best.
Yeah, they need him. Another 3-2 pitch. Outside, and that's the 5th walk from Jackson. 5 walks, 4 hits. That gets the young manager Green pacing. Adrianza, and then the pitcher spot. So Bruce Bochy undoubtedly will go to a pinch hitter there. And in the on-deck circle is Connor Gillespie. On the fist.
Ooh. He got in there, that one.
Yeah, he did.
100 pitches on the night for Edwin.
Heavy workload in that 5th.
Yeah.
29 tosses.
Well, they gave up a couple of walks that really pushed the pitch count. And they both scored. Popped up. Might be playable off third. Here comes Schimpf to the warning track. 2 away.
College football continues tomorrow when Boise State battles Oregon State at 12:30 p.m. Pacific on FS1. Then Oklahoma State faces number 16 Baylor at 4 p.m. Pacific on Fox. Football Saturday coming your way on Fox. Who the Irish got this week?
Love college football.
Who's the Irish
Notre
got?
Dame off this week?
They're off.
Probably a good thing.
Go Irish.
Big game, though. You can concentrate on the Chippewas. They're at the University of Virginia this week.
That is huge.
Hey, if they take the Cavaliers, they'll go 4-0 with wins over Oklahoma State and Virginia.
One on Oklahoma State was
Chips are
shocking
doing well.
everybody.
Yeah, I mean, they got
What a
the
finish.
extra play, but hey, they played the Cowboys even the whole game.
It's a W. It was a big win.
Gillespie, the pinch hitter, takes outside. Well, there was college action tonight, and Utah beats USC 31-27. So the Trojans start 1-3 on the year. Shift on. And a high fly ball, center field. Jay, plenty of time to cruise under it. And that'll do it. Top of the 6th for the Giants. The Padres remain up 7-2. Padres leading the Giants 7-2, and we're picking our top 10 moments of the 2016 season. And tonight, number 9. Brought to you by Geico. The city of San Diego waited 24 years to host the All-Star Game, and oh my, did we ever deliver. From Fan Fest to the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game itself, fans treated to first-class entertainment. Indeed, the Padres and the city of San Diego acclaimed nationally as outstanding hosts. That's our number 9. Number 8 on the season tomorrow night.
So that was a lot of fun.
Tremendous work for everybody involved, and it passed with flying colors throughout baseball. Everyone talked about how beautiful the city of San Diego was and what a event the All-Star Game was.
You can't get better acclaim than the media and fans saying they ought to have it there every year.
Exactly. I don't blame them.
So the veteran Joe Nathan wearing the San Francisco colors. He comes in here in the bottom of the 6th. Sardinia swinging at the first ball, pounds it toward Belt. The 3-1 put out in time to get Sardinas. So Nathan 1 pitch, 1 out, and we'll see if Edwin Jackson. No, it's going to be Brett Wallace is going to hit for Jackson. And time now to check the Cholula flamethrower. We got a different angle this time. 100.
Oh, yeah. Take a look at the velocity on this one. Nice work, Rod. Absolutely love that.
That's just raspberry syrup in there. That's not.
Tell you what a pro. He takes it. And he's like, yeah, I got this. Nice work.
I tell you what, one thing we discovered tonight, Rod Barajas is a darn good interviewer. Long answers. You got to love that, right, Professor?
Oh, that's a first rule in the interview book. You had long answers, not those 3-word answers.
Well, what a treasure it is to have Rod Barajas as a AAA manager. Obviously, a former catcher, experienced everything in the game, and a great zest for the game of baseball.
You know what I think goes a long way as well, gentlemen, is Rod Barajas, the former Diamondback, won a world championship.
Yes, he did.
As a D-back, Copper Square. And that goes a long way when you have a manager that is a world champion, right? Knows what winning's all about and how to create that atmosphere.
This is Wallace's 50th pinch hit appearance. He has 10 hits, 10 pinch hits. No home runs as a pinch hitter. Big swing and a miss. That's the home run swing. 2-1. Nathan making just his 9th appearance overall. His 6th as a Giant. Two and 2. Buddy Bauman is getting loose in the bullpen. Jose Torres, the left-hander.
Well, what a career for Joe Nathan, and battling his way back to the big leagues. Pro's pro.
Three balls, 2 strikes to Wallace. 1 out here in the 6th. So Jackson goes 6 innings, allows 2 runs on men that walked. He walked 5 and struck out 5. Gave up only 4 hits. And stands to be the winner. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Wallace goes down for the 2nd out.
Well, Edwin Jackson, as Dick just mentioned, he is on the W side so far. He made big pitches when he really needed to. I think that slider was a big pitch as well. Hey, the 5 walks didn't hurt him. 2 of them scored, but he avoided the stressful innings. And when he had one in the 2nd inning, he made a big pitch. It was down towards the bottom of the lineup. So really, just the multiple base runners in the 4th and in the 5th, and that was the only inning they scored the 2 runs.
Yeah, the 2 walks, the only real hiccup, and they came around to score on Panic's, or rather Buster Posey's double off the left field wall. So he stands to even his count at 5-5 with the win tonight. But work to be done. 3 innings to go for the Giants. Jay flies that to left. Easy chance for Pagan. And Joe Nathan works a 1-2-3 6th inning. On to the 7th. Padres 7, Giants 2. Now with 25 stores across San Diego. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealers. 6 innings in the books. The Padres 7 runs on 8 hits, no errors. They left 3. Giants 2 runs, 4 hits, no miscues, and have stranded 7. Edwin Jackson stands to win his 5th game of the season as in comes rookie Jose Torres, called up from the Chihuahuas of El Paso. We saw him last night make his major league debut. He gave up a leadoff double to Brandon Belt. Then he got 8 rounds at a fly out to center and struck out Panic and Denard Span, and he was showing some heat with a fastball, this young guy.
Yeah, 96-97. I'm anxious to see the left-hander Torres work back-to-back nights.
Opposing hitters batting only 198 against his offerings in the Pacific Coast League. Denard Span, the lead off the top of the 7th. Starts him at 94. Span 0 for 2, walked and scored in the 5th. He walked, Pagan walked, and Posey knocked them both in with a double. Giants 2 runs. '94 again.
Anytime, Dick, you get a left arm like this that throws upper 90s, that's quite a commodity, isn't it?
He's got a future. He can throw strikes. Ground ball left side. Sardinius, 1 away. Brings up the switch hitting Pagan. He'll turn around, bat right-handed against Jackson. Hitting left-handed, he flied out, grounded out, and he too scored and came in on the Posey double in the 5th.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
So 1 out, Pagan. He pops it up shallow and right. Renfroe comes in. Osuaje, get out of the way. Let the big man handle it. Let the big dog eat.
I'll tell you who's going to win that collision right there.
Well, you got to hand it to Osuaje just in case he hustled out there.
Yes.
Posey steps up.
You know, looking at Jose Torres' numbers in the minor leagues, prior to this year, 280 innings. He only surrendered 13 home runs.
He didn't throw many pitches. 4 pitches to get 2 outs. And Torres, who worked last night, takes a walk. We'll have a pitching change.
You going to the Everglades? You going to hunt some alligator? Who threw the Rockies' only no-hitter?
Ubaldo Jimenez.
Gosh, this guy's good. That was a sneak preview of tonight's all-new Padres POV presented by Sycuan Casino. Tonight after Padres Live right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Yeah, it's a great show to wrap up the baseball evening. Brandon Morrow, the veteran right-hander, makes his 15th appearance of the season. 2.13 ERA. But the opposing hitters have hit .314 against him. And he faces Buster Posey with no one aboard. 2 outs here in the 7th. Posey knocking in both Giants runs with a double. 1 for 3, and the Giants have only 4 hits tonight. Posey's double, Pence a single, Panik a double, and a double by the starting pitcher Suarez. Outside edge. 0-2.
Consistently pitching Posey away. That one hit, he really got on top of a high fastball, that double in the 5th inning.
A 3-2 pitch, so Jackson had to throw him a strike, or close to a strike. Check swing, didn't go. Ball all the way to the backstop.
Tough. Did he foul this ball off, or was it a swing and a miss?
It looks like he had a little piece of a foul ball. Awkward attempt. It's another chance. Fly ball to right. Renfroe into right center, calls it off. Jay and says that's mine. 1-2-3 inning as Torres and Morrow get the job done.
here with Hunter Renfroe's parents, Todd and Tammy Renfroe. First of all, welcome to San Diego, and big congratulations on your son's Major League call-up.
Thank you, thank you.
So this must be an incredible moment for you, one that you've been waiting your entire life for.
Yeah, we have. Great time.
What were the words that you told Hunter after he came off the field last night after his Major League debut?
Well, I was really kind of speechless. We just grabbed him and all cried. You know, it was great.
You were telling me before that it was kind of emotional. You saw them win the PCL championship title, and then you see him get his first Major League call-up. What was that like for you?
That's just a very special time for him and us, too.
At what point did you know that Hunter was going to be a major leaguer?
Probably when he was at State. You know, when we started seeing all the scouts come up and watch him, that was kind of like, well, this is real, you know? This may happen.
It may happen, and it did happen. Well, I hope y'all enjoy San Diego. I know you're headed back to Mississippi tomorrow, but enjoy your time here, and a big congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Julie. And I thought she might break into her southern accent. You know, she can do so many accents, Julie. We'll have to hear that later. She could join the family. She did throw y'all in there.
Yes,
you
she did.
That? Yeah. Yeah, great to have Todd and Tammy Renfroe here to cheer on their son. Yeah, it's, for sure. It's a automatic cry for the parents to see their kid finally make the big leagues, as we saw Carlos Asuaje's dad last night break into tears. Of joy tonight, a pair of doubles for Asuaje, and he sends this one deep to left field. Pagan's got room in that corner and makes the catch. Shows some power there, Asuaje. Time for our Bill Howe plays of the game, both with the bat and with the glove. Carlos Asuaje, first time up, double to right field into the corner. Goes down low and golfs that one into the corner. And he hits another one in right center field, his third time up. Also made a couple good plays in the field, a 2-for-4 night for Carlos Asuaje. Now Will Myers, a home run, a single, and a walk, intentionally walked and scored, and he hits that one on one hop to the third baseman Gillespie, and it's a 5-3 putout. Two quick outs here in the last of the seventh. Ryan Schimpf, the batter. Hardly had a chance to introduce Josh Osich, who has come in from the bullpen for the Giants, their fifth pitcher used tonight. With Gillespie staying in at third, Nunez moves over to shortstop. Schimpf looped a single to left, fouled to third, walked with the bases loaded, and that gave him an RBI, his 48th of the season. He's trying to reach that 50 mark again. The difference between 48, 49, and 50 sounds pretty good for a guy that didn't get his first hit until July. Yeah, there's no April, no May, no June on his resume, and he's still near 50 RBIs with 19 homers. Not called a strike by Winters. 2-0. Well,
Osich, he spent some time on the DL this year, but he was reinstated September 1st. Lefties this year only 160 average. He's around the plate too, only 5 walks. You can see keeping everything down, all 4 of those pitches. Kind of sneaky fast too at 94, Dick.
Yeah, he's got a live arm. 3-1. He has been guilty of the home run ball. Just missed it. Skies it to right. Pence with a catch. That was way up in the stratosphere. 1-2-3 go the Padres in the seventh. They lead by 5.
Jays, and Joey Batista, a 2-run double. The Jays pounding New York tonight, 9-0.
Yeah, you think about it, Mike, with Toronto, last year we saw the crowd really get into that team. They need to have that backing, especially with that offense. Hopefully they can get that.
Coming up on Padres Live, the postgame show, which will be brought to you by Cox Communications. Scott Miller, our Fox Sports San Diego MLB insider, he's going to be along. He'll join us. We're going to talk about the American League wild card race, as you saw that Toronto highlight. Also, you'll hear from Andy Green, and the Texas Rangers have clinched the American League West. So all that plus a whole lot more coming up after the final out. Dick and Mark.
All right, thank you, Michael. The pauper of Poway. The ground ball to short. Sardinius takes care of Hunter Pence, one away. One pitch, one out. Both teams going after that first pitch. So the Toronto win. They remain 5.5 behind Boston. The Red Sox won again today. But more importantly for the Jays, they're in this pole position for the American League wild card. They have a game lead over Detroit. Toronto and Detroit with the best records, but Baltimore and Houston right behind. A pitching change. Buddy Bauman comes in out of the pen for the Padres. Pitching matchup for tomorrow brought to you by Volkswagen Kearney Mesa. It'll be Jared Cosart against Madison Bumgarner. 5 o'clock our starting time here on Fox Sports San Diego. And we'll see if Cosart can better Mad Bum. And he does get mad if you look at him. Buddy Bauman, one of those called up from El Paso. We saw him earlier in the year. This is his 8th appearance with the Padres, 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits and 4 runs. Brought in to pitch to Brandon Milt.
And Buddy Bauman, he hides the ball really well. He kind of short arms the ball and comes right out of the back of that cap. So it's up on the hitter quickly. His 8th game, as Dick mentioned.
Pretty good pitch. At El Paso, 24 appearances, 3.14 ERA. Inside, right around the corners of the strike zone.
See how he kind of short arms it, and the ball, he really doesn't extend with that arm up until the back of the cap there, and then he gets extended, and that ball will sneak up on the hitters quickly.
3-1 to Belt, who has a penchant for walking. He's walked 2 more times tonight and grounded out. 98 walks on the season for Belt. Great idea of the strike zone. Fly ball sliced to left. Might be a play for Dickerson. No. Souvenir corner swallows up another.
You notice every ball that's been away and up a little bit to Brandon Belt tonight has gone down there in that foul territory. So, and that's the way they're swung around in the outfield. We made note of that earlier in the game. And there's a future big leaguer going home with a big league baseball. See that outfield going that way.
Little soft fly ball, easy chance, Sardinas. 2 away. That'll bring up Eduardo Nunez.
Well, the last 5 outs been some quick outs. Now that is some free-range chicken right there.
Hey, Grandpa wanted to escape the coop.
Bring back the San Diego chicken.
I love that spirit. I can't agree more.
Love the San Diego
You're
chicken.
not just pecking at seeds when you come up with that. I love the chicken. Can you imagine? Get dressed for the ball game, honey.
Yeah.
We're going to go out to Petco tonight.
Hey, you look nice. Let's go to the ball yard.
Why? I mean, it's nice. I mean, that's what a fan is.
They actually laid that, no pun intended, they laid that costume out, came home from work and put it on and hopped in the vehicle.
You know what I thought you were going to say?
What's
She's
that?
a good egg. How about Princess Pinky next to her? They really did dress up for the party.
Having a good old time.
Foul tip to Nunez. Stays at 1-2. There's the box score for the Giants. Slim pickings. Only 4 hits in the game.
Slim Pickens was great in Blazing Saddles.
Wasn't he? Another ball fouled right toward us. Will we ever get a foul ball up here? That was in direct line, but they just can't hit them this high.
We haven't got one this year, have we?
No. I think in 7 years, maybe 3 balls.
I think you're right.
No more.
Yep.
Another foul. Now that one's going to go near the media center, just shy.
In fact, wasn't it last year, Dick, last homestand, one came buzzing by you and almost hit this pillar right here.
Yeah.
Remember that? It came in hot.
Yeah, I made the dive for it, hit my head on the pillar. Staggered, but high pop up infield. Second baseman Asuaje tucks it away. 1-2-3 inning for the Giants. 7-2 Padres. A 7-2 lead into the bottom of the 8th inning, and it's time for In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia. And Alex Dickerson, a single and a walk, a couple of RBIs, a bases loaded single. Last 16 games hitting at a .315 pace. And a couple of home runs, including a pinch homer last night, his second pinch hit home run of the season. He leads it off, then Hunter Renfroe and Austin Hedges for San Diego against Santiago Casilla. He was the closer for a while, but failed. Now he's working various innings out of the pen.
Yeah, 31 for 40 in the save chances this season. 9 blown saves, tied for Chicago's White Sox Nate Jones for the most in the majors.
And the first pitch, breaking ball to Dickerson.
Cassilla's been on the shelf for the Giants' last 5 games, so he's getting an inning of work right here.
Yeah, he fell from grace earlier with, there's Brandon Crawford. Dislocated pinky sliding into the base, and so he hasn't played in the series. Ground ball sharply to Belt at first. The throw to Casilla, and just in time. Oh, he barely did get Dickerson hustling up the line.
Alex Dickerson, for his size, kind of sneaky fast.
No challenge. Hunter Renfroe 0 for 3.
Just got him.
Yeah, I think Casilla was surprised at how quickly Dickerson was right on his heels. Renfroe grounded out twice and fouled out after going 2 for 4 last night. Only one other game still going tonight at Dodger Stadium. LA leads the Rockies 4-2 in the 7th. Padres 7-2 in front of the Giants here in the bottom of the 8th. San Francisco will have the bottom third of their order due in the top of the 9th. That ball hit to left field, didn't get it all. Pagan for the second out. And Austin Hedges gets another turn. He's 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. So the National League wild card as it stands now. Mets won. The Giants looking as if they're going to lose. St. Louis lost, so the Giants would still be one of the 2 teams if the season ended tonight as a wild card.
For some unknown reason, I just feel the St. Louis Cardinals kind of might sneak their way in there. Can't really put my finger on it, but you know, with the way the Giants are going and what the New York Mets have to deal with in their pitching staff. Sure, they had a big win the other day. They won tonight big over the Phillies.
The Cardinals have had their chances. When the Giants lose, they seem to lose.
Cardinals have been great on the road this year.
They lost to the Cubs today 5-0. With a 7-2 deficit, Bochy taking a seat deep in the dugout. 1-2 to Hedges. Giants pitching has retired 10 in a row here late in the game since the Padres racked up 4 runs back in the 5th inning. Badrack is quiet for San Diego. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Chase the slider. And another 1-2-3 inning. 11 straight retired by the Giants pitchers. The game, Will Myers, first inning, 2 on, no one out, home run, number 28 for Myers, and a quick 3-0 lead for the Padres. He's added a single and was walked intentionally and scored a run. A big night for Will Myers, now with 28 home runs and 91 runs batted in to lead the club. Jankowski enters the game, goes to center. Jay moves from center to right field, and Renfroe, his night is over. And back to work we go here in the top of the 9th inning. Gorkys Hernandez will follow Joe Panik. Jay has gone to left field, not right field. So Jay has replaced Dickerson. And Renfroe stays in right. Panik, a double and a walk, and a lined out to left. Baumann staying in the game. He got the final 2 outs in the 8th inning. Got Belt to pop up and Nunez to pop up. Reaches out, a soft one hopper to short. Sardinia's quick throw in time. One away in the 9th. Let's go back to our keys to the game tonight, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, Saul Suarez, because remember, he pitched very, very well the last time against these Padres in San Francisco. 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. Okay. And Flashback Friday. Remember first outing against the Giants for Edwin Jackson. He took the no-hitter late in the game. 5 strikeouts, only 2 earned runs.
And only 4 hits from Jackson. Gorkys Hernandez bats for Adrianza. He had a double and a walk last night. Boy, everyone going after that first ball.
Yeah.
It's almost like the last day of spring training.
Very quick outs starting in the 7th inning. Early quick outs.
Inside. Two and one. Connor Gillespie on deck. Check, swing, foul. And if you're just joining us, the Padres 3 in the 1st and 4 in the 5th. That's been it. The Giants got their 2 runs in the 5th inning, back-to-back walks to Span and Pagan, and Posey doubled off the left field wall to knock them both in. You'll get all the rest of the news and scores and highlights and reaction in baseball today on the postgame show, so stay with us. A pop fly out on the outfield grass is a Suaje to collect the 2nd out here in the 9th. Ring that bell. Connor Gillespie with 2 outs, bases empty here in the 9th. He entered the game as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning, fly to center. Hunter Pence, a single and 4. Now it's Tomlinson who's going to hit in the 9th spot. Kelby with a big swing and a miss, and they're down to their final strength. Strike 3 called, and the ball game is over. The Padres take game 2 of the series. The final score, San Diego 7, San Francisco 2. Here's Mike Pomeranz.
Dick, thanks very much. For Mark and I see on Padres Live, the post-game show, we're going to talk about this youth movement. A lot of fire in that lineup right now, playing very well. You're also going to hear from Will Myers, who hit his 28th home run of the year tonight. We'll see you in moments.